If you want that picture perfect East Coast neighborhood vibe, the kind of neighborhood that you see in movies, think tree-lined streets, charming houses with lots of character, big beautiful yards, then you are in the right place because today we are touring 3 of the most sought after neighborhoods in Charlotte, North Carolina. And make sure you stay until the end because one of these neighborhoods is actually ranked as the #2 most popular neighborhoods to live in all of North Carolina. So let's get into it. All right, so now that we've set the stage, let's zoom in a bit on where exactly these neighborhoods are located within Charlotte. So getting to our map, we are talking about Providence Crossing, Providence Plantation, and East Providence Estates. Now, all of these neighborhoods are nestled on the eastern side of South Charlotte. And this whole area is kind of like a patchwork of different neighborhoods. So locals that live in these neighborhoods likely wouldn't say that they live in Providence Estates. Typically, they're going to say that they live in South Charlotte. This area is known to have a suburban feel. You're going to have tight community ties with top-rated schools. All of them are conveniently located around the 485 Beltway, and Uptown Charlotte is about 30 minutes away. If you're commuting during rush hour, you're probably going to be looking closer to an hour, and the Charlotte Douglas Airport is about 30 minutes away. Providence Road is going to be the main road artery in this area. It's going to extend from Uptown all the way to downtown Waxhaw, which is going to be one of the neighboring commuter towns of Charlotte. This area is known to have a suburban feel, so you're going to have tight community ties, top-rated schools, and aesthetically, it's just a very pretty area. Now, you may have noticed a little bit of a theme with the naming in this area. I know I was definitely curious, so I actually found this quote, and he basically says that back in the day, there were no geographical landmarks in this area, so people would name roads after churches, and Providence was an old church. That also explains why there are so many roads with the name Sharon, and if you know, you know. Going a step farther, though, I do wonder if there's also a marketing element to it as well. So this area has always been known to be very desirable, and in Charlotte, a lot of the neighborhoods that are around Providence Road come with somewhat of a prestigious reputation. So I wonder if when developers were building these neighborhoods, maybe they had that in mind, but it could be a chicken or egg kind of thing, who knows? Now, on the topic of Providence Road, let's talk about some quick cons that you should know before buying a home in this area. So Providence Road can be a little bit of a pain. So it is a pretty narrow road with a whole lot of traffic. It's one of the only ways in and out of Waxhaw. So not only do you have the traffic of the people who live in this area, you're also going to have a lot of traffic from people trying to commute to and from Waxhaw. There have been talks about eventually widening this road, but to the best of my knowledge, nothing has been confirmed yet. And the last somewhat negative thing to note about living in this area is that it is not walkable. The neighborhoods themselves certainly are. They are beautiful, very easy to walk around. But if you're looking to walk to grocery stores or different shops, then you're going to want to have a car. Now, all of your retail, schools, and conveniences are still very close together, but it's just not a very walkable area. So now that we know where we are, let's talk about the lifestyle in this corner of Charlotte. So this area is going to be very family friendly. And even though it is predominantly residential, you don't have to worry about missing out on the conveniences and entertainment that you typically would living in a suburban area. So you're going to have everything you need plus. And that is one of the really big factors that makes this area so desirable. You will have plenty of grocery stores within minutes of all of these neighborhoods. You will have several Harris Teeters, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. The parking lot there is notoriously bad though, so keep that in mind. And Costco is going to be located in the town of Matthews. It's only about 15 minutes away. You're also going to have several shopping centers in this area. So you're going to have the Arboretum, Stonecrest, Blakeney, and Waverly. These are not your average shopping centers. Think modern with lots of green spaces, water fountains, splash pads for the kids, and even parks within the shopping centers. And during the warmer months, they even have a lot of family fun events with live music. So it kind of becomes a destination to socialize. And as far as shopping and restaurants go, you will have your basics like Target, but you're also going to have a mix of mid to high-end places that you can dine and shop at. And this area is also home to multiple parks, greenways, and golf courses. These neighborhoods will be right between Valentine and Matthews. Valentine is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes away, and there is a big new commercial development in Valentine known as Valentine Reimagined. It is going to have a ton of activities. They even have a new amphitheater, which will have events and concerts throughout the year. And we actually have a whole video on Valentine that you can check out here. Matthews is going to be a little bit closer. It's going to be about 10 minutes away. And if you're not familiar with downtown Matthews, it is absolutely adorable. It really deserves a video all on its own, which I will get to. But this downtown has done a beautiful job at preserving its history while modernizing their dining and retail. So you're going to find really great local shops, breweries, and restaurants. Now, getting into the different neighborhoods. So even though the commercial spaces in this area, like your stores and restaurants and shopping, are going to be relatively newer, the neighborhoods themselves are not. So unlike other areas in Charlotte, like Ballantyne or Steel Creek, these neighborhoods have been around for quite a while. So you are going to see a lot more maturity in the vegetation and in the greenery. Your lot sizes are going to be bigger, and you're going to have a wide range of different housing styles. And in my opinion, you're going to have a lot more character with these homes than you do in some of the newer communities. Now, before we check out each neighborhood, I do quickly want to explain where we are getting these rankings from. So we are using a platform called niche.com, and this platform ranks neighborhoods and schools across the US. It uses an algorithm that takes into account a lot of factors. It's going to use data like school scores, housing trends, access to amenities, but they even consider reviews and surveys from residents in that area. And that's why I really love this website. It's not just based on data. Data is great, but it also takes into account the opinions of the people who live in these neighborhoods and have a day-to-day life experience with them. And this site has really become a go-to resource for people looking to move or learn about a particular neighborhood or area. So now that we have that covered, let's go check out some neighborhoods. First up, we have Providence Crossing. Niche.com gives Providence Crossing an A+ report card, and it ranks as the number 3 best neighborhoods to raise a family in Charlotte, number 4 best places in Charlotte to buy a house, and number 9 best places to live overall. When it comes to demographics, the median household income is about $172,000, with 49% of residents having children. The average age is between 35 to 44 years old and under 10 years old. The median home price is $830,000 with a mandatory HOA of $212 annually. This neighborhood is only about 10 minutes from Valentine and pretty much across the street from the shops at Waverly, so it's a really great location. The homes were built between 1992 and 2008, and the square footage is going to range from 2,000 up to 4,700 square feet. The styles of homes will be traditional, with the majority being brick. And one of the really great things about this neighborhood is that the lot sizes are really pretty sizable. They're going to start out at about 0.3, 0.4 of an acre, but some get up to an acre and a half. Next up, we have the shining star of this video, Providence Plantation. So this neighborhood is going to have an A+ report card from Niche.com. Number 1 best neighborhoods to raise a family in Charlotte, number 2 best neighborhoods to buy a house in Charlotte, and number 5 best neighborhoods to live overall. And this is the one that is ranked number 2 best places to buy a house in North Carolina. It ranks as number 6 best places to raise a family in North Carolina and number 23 best neighborhoods to buy a home in the entire United States of America. As far as demographics, the median household income is about $181,000 annually. About 46% of the residents have children, with the average age being around 35 to 54 and under 10 years old. Prices in this neighborhood are going to range from $600,000 all the way up to about $1.2 million, with the median price being $890,000. But I would not put too much stock into that number. This neighborhood is pretty unique. For one, it is massive, but it's also an amalgamation of several developments unified into one, with sections of this neighborhood dating back all the way to the 1960s and some still being developed today. So you'll notice a vast difference in the price ranges. And because it's been developed over so many years, it offers a really fascinating timeline of architectural styles. So you'll have mid-century ranches to traditional homes of the 1980s, charming Cape Cods from the 1990s, and sleek modern transitional homes homes of today. And when it comes to community management, the neighborhood features a voluntary HOA. However, it is important to note that there are two small sections of Providence Plantation where the HOA membership is mandatory, with the fees of $85 annually and $467 semi-annually, respectively. But the majority of the community enjoys the flexibility of having a voluntary HOA. And because it is clearly winter, you really don't get the full effect, but this neighborhood transforms into a lush green haven in the warmer months. It's really like living in a park. People will actually come here from different areas just to walk and bike and really enjoy the beauty of the neighborhood. And there is a lot of wildlife here as well. Just driving around, I saw 3 different groups of deer, so definitely be careful as you're driving, but it is absolutely beautiful and very scenic. And then last up, we have East Providence Estates. Niche.com gives it an A+ report card. It ranks as the 4th best neighborhood to live in Charlotte, number 6 best neighborhood to raise a family in Charlotte, and number 9 best places to live in North Carolina overall. And as far as the demographics, the median household income is going to be about $112,000 annually, with about 38% of residents having children. But the average age is going to be between 45 to 54 years old and 55 to 64 years old. The median home price is about $780,000. There is no HOA, and it is somewhat similar to Providence Plantation in the sense that this neighborhood was kind of constructed over several different years. So construction started in the 60s and continued up until fairly recently. So sizes are going to range from 1,700 square feet all the way up to 4,000 square feet. And you will have a lot of really large, huge lots in this neighborhood. They're going to start out at about a ½ an acre, but some get all the way up to 3.5 acres. And as far as the style of homes, you're going to have a pretty equal mix of mid-century homes and traditional. Now, I do have a little bit of a confession to make with this one. I don't fully believe that the stats and rankings were just of this neighborhood. When you look at the boundary map that Niche.com included, it looks like it also included the neighborhood of Willowmere as well. So I did include a driving tour of this neighborhood just so you can get an idea of what else you can buy in this area. The median home price is $579,000. There is an HOA that is required of $141 quarterly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about the different areas in Charlotte. If you have any questions about the home buying process, the home selling process, or if you're just curious about different neighborhoods, do not hesitate to reach out. Here's all my information. It's also down below, and I look forward to connecting.